In 2021, Catherine Nyokabi was a 25-year-old young woman who worked as a waitress at a popular meat joint in Kahawa Wendani. Catherine, a firstborn in a family of 4 and a mother of a 6-year-old boy, was described by her friends as hardworking, caring, loving, jovial, and respectful of everyone. However, on 13th April 2021, her promising future was cut short by her boyfriend Evans Karani when he gruesomely took her life. Welcome to Silent Shadows. As always, if you appreciate our true crime storytelling, support our bi-weekly series by liking and subscribing. Together, we uncover compelling tales of crimes and mysteries in Kenya and beyond, presenting well-balanced narratives that respect the victims and their loved ones. Evans Karani and Catherine Nyokabi had met through Facebook around 2019 and had started chatting. What started as an online friendship turned into a flirtatious relationship and then a fully fledged romantic relationship. However, Evans Karani was not a single man when he started dating Catherine. He was a married man and a father of 5 children. That 8-year-old Evans Karani ran a transport business and he was also a son broker at Ndarugo in Juja. Evans convinced Catherine to quit her job and he promised to take care of her financially. He kept his promise and took care of all of Catherine's financial needs, including buying food, paying her rent at Hunter's Kasarani, and paying for her son's school fees. Their relationship blossomed as seen in the photos they took together, displaying happiness and affection for each other. Those close to Catherine also say that Evans would visit her house at Hunter's Kasarani every weekend, spending the entire time with her and her son. Catherine went ahead to formalize her relationship with Evans by taking his surname on Facebook and introducing him to her family. Catherine's father, Geoffrey Njogu, said Evans was a frequent visitor to his home, but the family disapproved of his intentions to marry their daughter once they discovered he was a married man with 5 kids. In February 2021, their relationship hit a rocky patch. Catherine's friend told reporters that Catherine had confided in her that Evans was facing financial difficulties and Catherine had to return to her waitressing job, a decision that Evans heavily opposed. It is during this time that their relationship hit a rocky patch and Catherine developed an interest in another unidentified man. End of March 2021, Catherine posted a picture on her WhatsApp status with the unidentified man being overly cozy. Evans, drunk with jealousy, requested her to delete the photo, citing that it was causing him too much pain. However, Catherine refused to delete the photo and she officially broke things off with Evans. 2 weeks later, on Tuesday, 13th April 2021, Evans called Catherine requesting her to meet up for them to iron out their differences. That afternoon, Catherine boarded a matatu headed for Kahawa Wendani, where she had planned to meet Evans. Her friend says that Catherine's intention was to be back home at 8 p.m. before the curfew. Having met Evans at Wendani, she asked him if he could take her to the salon to get her hair done before they spoke about their relationship issues. Evans obliged to the request and took her to a local salon at Kahawa Wendani, where Catherine got her braids hairdo and Evans took care of the bill as usual. After their trip to the salon, the detectives believed that the two gallivanted in Kahawa Wendani, but when the evening came, Evans asked Catherine if she could accompany him to his parents' home in Kirinyaga, where they would have the much-needed tranquil to iron out their differences away from the hustle and bustle of Nairobi City. Catherine agreed, and the two headed for Kirinyaga, listening to music and drinking beers. When they approached Mangu High School in Thika, Karani deviated from the route to Kirinyaga and entered the Bob Harris Road, a muddy road leading to Tola Estate. Evans took another deviation from Bob Harris Road, and their car got stuck in the mud. At this point, Catherine was really drunk, a state that Evans had intended her to be. Detectives believe it is during this time that the car was stuck in the mud that Evans pounced on Catherine and did the unthinkable, He took her life by strangling her with a belt, then finishing the job with a rope. Out of his jealous-driven rage, he also assaulted her with a knife, a screwdriver, and yanked her hair from her head. He then removed Catherine from the car and dragged her about 50 meters from where the car was and hid her body in the nearby marshlands. Evans then went back to his car, but he could not get it moving. It was completely stuck in the mud. Frustrated, Evans walked to the Thika superhighway and went into hiding. The following day, on Wednesday, 14th April 2021, the police got a call that the body of a deceased woman had been found near Tola Estate, at Juja constituency Thika, near a dark blue Nissan Advan Expert, which seemed stuck in the mud. The police and forensic experts landed on the scene and found Catherine now deceased. According to the report given by the police, Catherine had been badly wounded. She had been assaulted with a knife and her braids, which she had gotten done earlier, had been pulled from her head, her tooth removed, and she lay on the muddy ground. At the scene, they also found the knife and screwdriver which were used to commit the heinous crime. Her phone and that of Evans had been smashed to pieces and were next to her, in addition to her purse, which did not have any money. Inside Evans' car, they found beer bottles, a knife, and 2 water bottles. They also found traces of blood on one of the car doors and wheels. Determined to identify the perpetrator, the detectives ran the car number plates through the NTSA database. However, they could not identify its current owner, since the car's change of ownership since its importation had not been reflected on the database. The police were also hitting a dead end on identifying Catherine's killer when a man walked to Juja police station with a few others. Having seen the car details and the news of the murder circulating on social media, the man told the police that the car belonged to Evans Karani and the woman was his girlfriend. Having identified the perpetrator as Evans Karani, the police now had to find him since he was on the run. Using his phone number data, they identified the last few calls that Evans made before his number was switched off. The data led them to Githurai Kimbo, where they found Evans hiding in a friend's house. Now arrested, Evans was taken by police to the Juja police station for questioning. Evans told the police that he would love to confess to his crimes, and the detectives gave him 3 options before he started his confession. They asked him to either call a lawyer, a friend, or a family member to bear witness to his confession. Evans, in the most shocking plot twist, chose to call his now estranged wife. With his wife listening in, Evans confessed to killing Catherine Nyokabi, whom he had had a clandestine relationship with for 2 years. After Evans finished his confession, his wife shocked the police by saying, "I know him, he can't hurt a fly." Evans also confessed to having tried to unalive himself 3 times following his selfish act of taking Catherine's life. Turning to Evans to try and establish why he had killed Catherine, Evans told the police that he loved her so much that he could not live without her. He further alleged that in his life, Catherine was his second god, and he could not fathom her being with another man. An autopsy conducted at the Nairobi City Mortuary on Monday, 19th April 2021, showed that Catherine succumbed to strangulation and blunt force trauma. On the same day, Monday, 19th April 2021, at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Evans Karani made a virtual court appearance from the Juja police station. Evans shocked many when he asked Magistrate Oscar Wanyaga of Thika Law Courts to sentence him to jail as fast as possible so that he can begin serving his time. These sentiments were evidence that Evans lacked remorse in his actions of taking Catherine's life. The following day, Tuesday, 20th April 2021, Catherine Nyokabi Njogu was buried at her parents' home at Gatei Village, Nyeri County, as seen here. In the deeply emotional burial, Catherine's younger sister eulogized her by saying, "It is hard to believe, it is hard to accept that you have gone, dear sis. Stories and enjoyment were many in our lifetime with you. You really supported us in all ways." Other emotional and heartfelt tributes were made by Catherine's family, noting her loving and caring nature. Her kin also called for justice to prevail by Evans being held accountable for his selfish actions. On 21st July 2021, Evans' request for bail was denied. The judge cited that Evans could not be granted bail since he was deemed a threat to Catherine's family, who are set to be witnesses for the case. Evans remains remanded at the Nairobi Remand Prison as the case continues. We shall be sure to keep you updated on the progress of this case. This tragic case serves as a poignant reminder that gender-based violence remains a prevalent and urgent issue in Kenya, demanding immediate attention. The heartbreaking story of Catherine Nyokabi and Evans Karani underscores the need for increased awareness, intervention, and support systems to combat such instances of violence within our society. We earnestly hope for the justice that Catherine Nyokabi deserves. We trust that Evans will be found guilty and sentenced to life for his reprehensible actions. Our deepest condolences go out to Catherine's son, family, and friends. May she rest in eternal peace. Thank you for joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to be notified when the next video is up. Until then, please take care, stay safe, and always trust your gut.